Well, happy Mindfulness Monday, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, please share in the chat. We love to welcome anyone whose first time this may be, or first time in a long time, perhaps. It's been a while since you created this space for yourself. Please remember that everyone will be muted for the duration of our session today. Feel free to use the chat function to communicate, share questions, thoughts, where you're joining from, if you're expecting snow or have snow. I would love to invite you to join us on camera. We do like to see each other here. And a reminder that our next live English session will be on December 8th. Before we get into it, I want to remind you about our other PD Health at Home virtual programs. Each week, we offer sessions tailored to support people with Parkinson's and their care partners, including Mindfulness Mondays, Wellness Wednesdays, Fitness Fridays, expert briefings, and our Spanish language series, Y Salud en Casa. Be sure to visit our website to see what's coming up and to explore our archive videos on YouTube. We have a full library of content for you to review if things are shifting and changing in your journey with Parkinson's. I imagine the foundation has it somewhere in our archives, or we'll be planning to host something new. This week's Wellness Wednesday, please join me and Kurt Brungart for an engaging, playful session that will train your brain, body, and spirit. We'll do a mix of movement, some vocal exercises, and expressive activities that will help us explore our voice, speech, and expression and balance in ways that hopefully inspires confidence, presence, and joy. So you can learn more about our upcoming virtual programs and register at parkinson.org/PD health. And now I invite us into the space of mindfulness. Today we welcome back Nico Hase. Nico, thanks for being here today. Really appreciate you showing up.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be here with all of you and to see all of you. I'm always amazed. Um, just the number of faces here, familiar people, people that I don't know so well. And I'm trying to figure out how to see all of you because all I see is myself right now. And usually I can just hit this and it works. There it is. There you are. Yeah, it's such a delight to come here and see all of you and know that Mindfulness Mondays are happening every week. And my wife Devon and I have been doing this now for, I don't know, maybe 4 years, 5 years. And we look forward to it. We look forward to joining each of you. And it brings me joy. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about joy. And I wanted to start with just a brief reflection. What brings you joy? And I'd love to hear about it over the chat. For those of you who have access to a keyboard or your phone, you just think about it for a minute. It doesn't have to be big things, it could even be very, very small things. What brings you just little bits of joy? Grandchildren, a family. Travel brings joy. Slow mornings, yes. Grandson, Felix. Okay, Felix. Spending time with family. Migrating birds, nature, my family. Family gatherings, a lot of family, a lot of wanting to be with family and being with family. Oh, yes, please include pictures of companion animals, pets. Yeah. Cycling, my parents. No more chemo for mom. Beautiful. When my husband has a good day, yeah. Beautiful music brings joy. A sunny day golfing brings joy. Grandchildren bring joy. Family gatherings, twin boy and girl. Meditation on the true nature of things brings joy. Oh, I agree with that. Working with puppies at my local animal shelter. Yeah, the sign in my bedroom that says, "Today I choose joy," which is very much what we'll be talking about together the next half hour. Yeah, DBS surgery is scheduled. That brings joy, laughter, playing pickleball. My 80-year-old mother plays pickleball 5 times a week, so I now know a lot about pickleball. Connectivity. No, really, she talks about pickleball a lot. Connectivity brings joy. Beautiful. And so even as we're just reading, so there's something about cueing our attention to joy. And one thing that brings joy is hearing the joys of others, right? When I hear that somebody has joy for their grandchildren or a sunny day playing golf, I immediately feel just a little bit of uplift. And that's because emotions are contagious. Have you noticed this? If you walk into a room and people are really anxious, even if you were feeling really calm before you walked into that room, if you walk into a room full of really anxious people, you start to feel anxious. Or, maybe you're at a checkout counter and somebody's having a really bad day and they're really angry, you know, a cashier or something. You feel a kind of contagion, like you're almost a little angry back. You might not even know why. So emotions are contagious. And usually we notice this with difficult emotions, anxiety or anger or sadness. But it's equally true with life giving, positive emotions. They are contagious. And so, one of the really beautiful ways to bring joy is just to name our joy in community, like God, gardening, acceptance. The sound is very low. Are people having trouble hearing my sound?
That seems to be the case that
Hold
are
on one second. I think
okay.
that's this.
Thanks, Nico. Thanks for sharing, friends, and turning your volume all the way up.
Okay, is this better? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up as louder.
Sounds better to me. How's it feel, fam? Good? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so the contagion of positive, life-giving emotions, naming it in community together actually brings a little bit of an uplift. And we're not looking for something magnificent here. All we're looking for, it's like I always say, it's just drops in a bucket. And if you are continuous, if you remember to just drop another little drop of water into a bucket, drip and drip and drip, that bucket is eventually going to fill. And the same is true for something like joy. If you just remember to turn your attention very briefly for just a moment toward joy, and then 30 minutes later, just very briefly, a moment towards joy, and then 10 minutes later, and you're just cueing the heart just like a bucket fills with water, your whole body, your heart, your mind begins to fill with just a quiet kind of gladness, just a little bit of joy. Yeah. And mudita, we're going to talk about mudita too. Experiencing joy within yourself when someone else is sharing or expressing their joy. So I'm going to talk about just two ways that we can meditate with joy, which is what we're going to do in a moment. First is just what we did here, just thinking of what you're grateful for, thinking of what's going well. Because there tends to be, for most of us, what we call a negativity bias. And this is something I studied in my PhD program quite a lot, working with many different clients in many different circumstances. The way that this seems to be biological, it seems to be baked in to our perceptions. We tend to focus on what needs attention, what is not going well. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to take care of the difficulties in our lives, and that does require a genuine engagement, a real attention. However, if we're not careful, we could spend our whole lives locked into just trying to problem solve what is wrong. And we need to shift to what is going well. So the first meditation we're going to do together is just the first part of the meditation is just thinking about gratitude, what brings us joy. And then there's the second part. And this one is really fun. We start to think about what is going well for other people. Because there can be moments in your life where you feel like nothing is going well for you, whether it's health or family difficulties or finances or whatever it happens to be. There can be these moments where you just think, I don't know. I don't know what I'm grateful for. But if you can turn your attention toward others, this, the Dalai Lama says, if you turn your attention towards others and their joys, you have 7 billion reasons to be happy. There's just no end. There's no limit to noticing what's going well for others. So that's the second part of the meditation that we're going to do. That's called mudita. Mudita. Mudita is one of these old Buddhist words that means something like empathic joy or sympathetic joy, taking delight in what is going well for others. So, should we do a little meditation together? We'll just do maybe about 10 minutes. And we'll start with just thinking about what's going well for us, have some gratitude, and then we'll extend that to others. So you don't have to have some beautiful special meditation posture, but something comfortable. You could be seating, you could be seating, you could be seated, you could be lying down, you can be standing, you could be walking if you just turn your video off. Whatever is the most comfortable posture for you. And then maybe just allowing your eyes to close. Or if that doesn't feel right, you could just look down. And let's just take a couple of really nice, deep breaths together. And once you've taken those deeper breaths, just sense, how is it now in my body? Just this gentle turn toward feeling your own body. Maybe you can feel your feet on the ground. Maybe you can feel your seat on a chair or couch. You could maybe feel your hands at rest on your knees or in your lap. Just really taking a moment to sense, how is it to be alive in my body in this moment? And sometimes when we do this, it feels pleasant. Maybe there is some pleasant feeling in your body, and that's good. Sometimes when we do this, when we feel into how is my body now, it can be a little unpleasant. There can be very uncomfortable sensations. And that's okay too. Whatever is here, comfortable or uncomfortable, pleasant or unpleasant, whatever is here, we just welcome. Really take a moment and welcome the physicality of your experience. A gentle softening into what is alive. from being a little bit more connected with your body, see if you can turn your awareness toward what is going well. What is going well for you? Doesn't mean you forget the challenges, but see if you can really notice what's good, what's good. And there's a kind of soaking in that goodness. Often the mind will flit away, pay attention to something else. You could bring it back. Not just thinking about what's good, but soaking in what's good, really deeply feeling what is going well. Very nice. Releasing what is going well for you. Think about people in your life. What is going well for them? Could be your children, your grandchildren, people in your community, friends, neighbors. You're not forgetting their challenges, but just for the moment, what's good? What's good? And can you begin to feel that almost physically? It's like you're soaking in that goodness. And then releasing any effort to think of anything in particular. Just come back to your body and sense what's here now. There's no demand, no expectations, just curiosity. How is it? How's your body? And when you're ready, you could take a couple of deeper breaths. Maybe let your body move, let your body stretch, open your eyes, look around. Ah, good. Well done, friends. So just to review what we did there, just a minute or two, we came back to our body first thing, right? First thing, back to our body. Second piece, remember what's going well for us, soaked in that, really soaked it in. Part three, thought of what's going well for others, soaked it in. And the last part, dropped everything, came back to the body. It's the whole meditation, 10 minutes long. You could do that anytime. You can do a shorter version. You can skip straight to other people. You could stay only with yourself. Be creative, whatever is really working for you. So I'd love to hear in the chat, what did you notice? And I always say the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever you noticed, I want to hear it all. How did it go? What did you notice? Noticed calmness. It's often a pleasant feeling. Very relaxing. Yeah, very relaxing. Notice myself smiling, a gentling, a reactivity, a self-tenderness, generosity of spirit, tears, tears of joy when thinking of what's going well for others. Very good. Very calming. Much to be grateful for. Well, it is that time of year, isn't it? Quiet, peace. As soon as I focused on others, I felt joyful. Neat trick. Let's remember that one. Relaxed. I noticed it was effortless to slip into feeling good, right? If we just turn our attention in a direction, it's kind of effortless. The joy comes. Focus on others is always best for the self. Yeah, very good. Appreciating the others in my life. I started to slow, yeah, hectic thinking started to slow down. Good. Feeling sorry for myself. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when that happens, it's totally okay. You welcome it in and just continue with the meditation. Don't have to get rid of feeling sorry for yourself. I had to think for a long time for what's going well. Yeah, that's normal. And sometimes it takes quite a while. I realized that everything I have comes from others. It's a beautiful realization. Feeling better. Couldn't stop yawning. Yeah, so this couldn't stop yawning is really interesting. So and there's two parts of the nervous system. You know, there's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Very simple way to talk about this is the sympathetic nervous system brings us up when we need to do something, brings us up. The parasympathetic nervous system brings us down. And so sometimes as we downshift into the parasympathetic nervous system, we start yawning or we fall right asleep or there's like this deep release and relaxation that happens in the body. So often yawning is a good sign. Doesn't mean that you're checked out or something. It's actually the body just releasing. Uh, Choosing joy during difficult times by going inside. Beautiful. And does anyone have a question? Anything come up that was a little bit confusing or any thoughts, questions about how to use this in your daily life? Any questions? Thinking of others was good to put aside my own daily stressors, even if it was only for 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes can make a big difference. 2 minutes can make a big difference. Hmm. See if anybody has any questions. Good. So, okay, need to tap into a reminder to utilize this during the day. Great. Tap into a reminder. This is where I was going. So I was going to say in our last 2 minutes here, see if it's interesting to you, if this was resonant, if this was helpful, you could think about how do you want to bring this into your life as a daily practice. And again, it doesn't have to be for 10 minutes. It could be for like 2 minutes. So Jonathan's saying, how often should we strive to meditate? I think 5 minutes a day is very, very helpful. And it's much more helpful to meditate 5 minutes every day than to meditate 20 minutes every 5 or 6 days. So the consistency is what really helps. If you can meditate 5 minutes a day, most days, it's like those drops in the bucket. You're just putting drops in the bucket every day. Just very gently, slowly turning your mind toward what's going to be useful, not only for you, it's going to be helping others too. I have a hard time letting go of my worries. I found keeping a journal of joy to be helpful. I love journaling. It is one of my favorite activities. Personally, I just like to listen to music and just journal. And having a specific prompt can be really helpful, like what we did today. You could do that as a journaling activity. You can use that to turn your attention towards what's joyful. Is meditation before sleep at night a good time? Absolutely, it is. Yeah, it's really helpful. Like we were talking about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic. So it's hard to go to sleep if you're activated in that doing mode. And sometimes meditation can be the thing that downshifts you into the non-doing mode. I meditate every day on the joy of having a life to be able to meditate. Beautiful. I love that very much. How to choose joy when grieving. Yeah. So this is, I don't have enough time to really say the importance. I'm going to try to get it really quick here. Sometimes we can't choose joy when grieving, and that's important. It's not, we don't try to use joy to get around a natural grief process. So if you're grieving, grief has its own momentum, it has its own trajectory. And usually it's best to not try to interfere with that or get past it too much. So you can check in with yourself. Sometimes there's moments in a grief process where you can authentically turn your mind toward joy, and it's very helpful. What we want to avoid is trying to stop the grief and get into joy, because that's going to interfere with the natural trajectory or the process of grief. So that's my very, very short answer to that. I practice as part of the world of interbeing Sangha. Yes, I love the world of interbeing Sangha. Yeah. Okay. We need to stop here. But as always, you have brought me a lot of joy today. It's very fun to be with you. And thank you, Krista, and to everybody at the Parkinson's Foundation. I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. I'll hand it back over.
Thanks so much, Nico. Really appreciate the way that you guide us into this space of choosing joy when it's possible and gifting us that offering today of creating joy within and also experiencing the joy that we can share with others. Thank you all for continuing to be present with our Mindfulness Mondays. I want to remind you that our next live mindfulness session will be on Monday, December 8th. So we'll see you next week. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the Parkinson's Foundation. Information's there on the screen. Until soon, my friends, may you be well, may you find joy, and may you feel ease. Bye-bye.